the intro for
Steven Bundy's.
yeah.
What I will say, which is very important, that Steven goes into some detail, especially about drug use, which might be a trigger to some people. Yeah. So bear that in mind before you listen to it. But it's this podcast is not for the light-hearted anyway.
Yeah, no, and I did make it quite clear to you. I don't ever want to do two and back to back like that.
That's why I didn't tell you that we was into.
If we would, it's like when we've done like an interview one, and then we've done you and me. That's absolutely fine because that's more of like we use it as like that's almost like a de-stress or like a. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to go from, to very very different stories, but. Fuck me, just
emotionally draining.
Yeah,
I apologise. You know what? As well, I wanted to get a few in. It seems to have blown recently. Like a lot of people are interested. A lot of people have. I've had guests lined up, but people are coming forward now wanting to come on, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
But we're drawing this first season to an end for a bit because we both deserve a little break from it. I think.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an interesting. Podcast to do one when we get back from Scotland, just to go back through all the people that have been on the episode and that, and just have like a month off or something, and then come back with season 2.
Genuinely, I stand by the fact I think it's that female impact of the podcast. I think that has.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I've got a lot of female fans out there as well. Why?
Again,
Why do I do it? Why do I do it?
The second time in a row you've done this. That was bloody Laura messaged me and she said she couldn't stop laughing when you talked about the female impact on the intro of the last one.
Couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, she was literally.
It's so unbelievable.
She said she was literally hysterically laughing.
No, I think that'd be good. We'll come back from Scotland. We're going to do a couple of interviews in Scotland, or at least one. Mm-hmm. I've got a couple of people I want to get in before we draw it to a close.
I've got one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she'll want to do an interview or not, but I'm meeting a friend.
But series 2, we can get a load of more people on and that as well. And I think it will be nice for us both to have like a month off.
I will. But I'm meeting in Birmingham. I'm meeting a friend that I trained with before I started my job. Do a training course, and I trained with her. She's up in Birmingham. But she recently posted some stuff on her social media about some experiences she went through when she was a lot younger. Yeah. And I messaged her just to check on her really, because it's quite a big thing to disclose that sort of info publicly. And I said, look, I'm up in Birmingham for a couple of days. Do you want to meet up for a chat? She was like, oh yeah, no, I'd absolutely love to. So I'll see where she's at. But I might message her near the time, see if she wanted to actually record it, because I wasn't aware of what she went through, but. I'll see how we get on with that, but we've got all sorts, and we've got bloody just seem to keep growing and
what amazing stories with her.
Oh Christ, and Steve's that we've got on here is just like I said to you,
it's a very sad story.
Incredibly sad story. It's chaotic. It's traumatic. It's a lot, and like I said to you, that reminded me very heavily of a lot of the guys that we work with. And
Stephen's brother was murdered. He speaks about it in there. I remember that his brother was a big name in this town, and I remember like it was yesterday when it happened. Just the shock it rippled through the town and that, and in a little town like Felixstowe, you wouldn't think that'd happen, and unfortunately it did to his family. I know Stephen's other brother Gary's a really nice bloke. I get on really well with him. He moved away. It obviously affected him massively, but it would do, wouldn't it? It'd affect anyone anyway. But for your brother to die in your arms is you're gonna
in that fashion. As well. It's just... And
he already had his demons before, which he explains just sent him into oblivion, and he hasn't fully healed from it. You can see that, but he's on his way, and he's in recovery now. And I've noticed a massive change in him in a short amount of time as well, which is good. They say sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. So hopefully he can take the ball with both horns. Is that right?
Take the ball by the horns.
Take the ball by the horns and run with it. That's take the ball. Never mind. You know what I'm trying to say.
I do. By this point, mate, I mean, how many episodes is it? 26 episodes or something like that?
We're smashing it. Yeah, smashing it.
I'm kind of getting used to how you talk and
gibberish. Sorry, I'm drunk. I'm not, for the record, I'm not. Coming up to a year sober. Year sober on the 10th, and I'm doing a special day.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You're sober on the 10th, are you? I hadn't noticed.
I don't like to go on about it, Jack. Nah, I'm quite a private person, and I keep my thoughts to myself. And I'm not like one of these that posts everything online. Keep your stuff to yourself. But I thought for once I would celebrate my sobriety. And I'm going to make a big thing about it. 1 year clean and sober. But most importantly, because I've had bouts of sobriety in the past, but this is 1 year of actually being at peace with who I am as a person, and just the amount of growth that's happened in a year.
Yeah.
And
that's just from meeting me, really, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, you've been a big part of it, mate, and I mean that, and I do. We have a laugh and we have a joke on it, but when you change your life around, you draw in the right sort of people. And,
I agree.
And you come into my life at the right time. Yeah. I've got good friends around me, good family.
We're not getting married.
Well, this was going to be the Dare to Talk proposal.
Absolutely.
I've bought a ring, Jack.
Yeah, I don't care. You can shove your ring.
Alright, well, fuck you. End of fucking podcast forever.
Okay, now on a more serious note, please enjoy the episode with Steve. It's really quite something, this episode. Like and subscribe, YouTube, Spotify. Follow us on Instagram, Jackie Boy Shep.
Dare_2_dip.
Asked to join the Dare to Dip Facebook group. It's an amazing community. It's still going strong every day. There's a group down there. Lovely people. And please come and get involved. We've got Dare to Dip December.
Yep, Dare to Dip December. We're trying to inspire people to do 31 days of cold water therapy in the whole month of December. Whether it be joining us in the sea or having cold showers at home. Come and get involved and post on your socials about it. Use the hashtag Dare to Dip December, and let's raise as much money and awareness as we can.
Lovely. So please enjoy the episode.
Yep. And if you are struggling, reach out. Find a little note. Okay. I'm not going to say pizza.
I knew you were going to get it in there.
I'm Sam. Got it right.
And I'm Jack.
This is Dare to Talk, and today we've got Steven Bundy. How you doing, mate?
Boys?
All right, mate. We've got Steven here. Good to have you on, mate.
It's been a long time coming, really, Sam.
Yeah, you just start. I wanted to start off with this story because
cool, man.
you're in recovery with me now.
Yeah.
We go up and down the road to
Absolutely.
Essex and down here to meetings and that.
That we do.
The first meeting that you come to with me, you were nervous, weren't you?
I'm a nervous wreck, mate. even though it may not look like it, Sam, but inside I was like, let me out of it.
Oh no, it looked like it. But he was nervous, and we were talking about his brothers. He got a brother Daryl that's unfortunately not with us anymore, and brother Gary that's moved away, hasn't he?
That's it, mate. He moved up north when he was 16.
And when we got to the meet, you were talking that you were close to them and that.
Very close.
And then when we got to the meeting, you were nervous. I said, sit down, get your coffee.
Yeah.
My sponsor sat next to you.
Who's called Gary?
Who's called Gary. And then my sponsee sat on the other side of you.
He's
He's called
called Daryl.
Daryl. No,
and I ended up sitting in between these two.
Yeah, and
we sort of cottoned on, didn't we, Sam?
Yeah.
It was almost just like, hang on a minute, someone's definitely shining a light down there.
Yeah, a little sign from above.
It was meant to be.
And that settled you a bit as well, didn't it?
It did. It made me feel more comfortable, and also the people there make you feel very at ease as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're smashing recovery, mate.
Thank you.
And even today we went through some stuff together and that, and we just got each other's back, like everyone in the room's got each other's back as well.
It was brilliant. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Got reading the book and stuff together is it's good.
Yeah.
It's good understanding.
We'll go back to the beginning a little bit. Obviously, you've had your demons like I have.
Haven't we all, brother?
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about your brother if you don't mind. So Daryl was murdered.
He was stabbed twice, mate.
Yeah, and you was with him. He
He
died in your arms.
died in my arms, mate, yeah. In front of my mum as well.
Yeah.
And Matt Bone, he was there as well.
You already had your demons before all that.
I did, mate, yeah.
But do you want to talk about that first?
Well, basically, my demons started, Sam, when I was put in boarding school at 10 years old. That was the place you don't put a child. In my eyes, back in that time of the era, what things went on in them places, no child should have to see or endure. And like my mum, eventually, you know, bless her heart, she did, because obviously a single mum, brought us all up, you know, 3 boys on her own, and she's done an amazing job. She's my mum and dad, you know what I mean? I'm my best friend. She's done an amazing job. Can't fault her one bit. But she pulled me out of there, which is the right thing to do, and tried to put me in a mainstream school, Devon High School. Lasted 15 days. Kicked straight out. You know, then it got to the point where no school in the country would take me, because they was like, no, he's too bad. So I ended up being homeschooled. Got through all that fine. Then all these things started creeping back from when I was at boarding school. Stuff that went on, stuff that shouldn't have gone on. And I was 14 when this happened. It was like something come over me, and I just thought, like, I can't deal with this stuff anymore. Like, the thoughts and stuff are too much. So I started hanging around with people, as you do, older people, you know, same sort of age, and obviously the elders that you look up to, i.e. my brother was older, and I was able to sort of be with my brother Daryl and his friends, if you know what I mean. And like during that time, I laugh about it now, but you know, for a 14-year-old to do as much speed as I done was like ridiculous. But to me, I thought, oh, this is life. Do you know what I mean? This is brilliant. Like I can't see anything out on the outside. Like, you know, give me more. But you know, that went on for a couple of years and whatever. And I went to college when I was 16, and I got distinctions in my welding and fabrication course and everything. Then I got a job down at TIP, which is a trailer fitting company down the docks, and I'd done a course with them and everything. Ended up getting better, so I moved on to another trailer fitting company. But in that meantime, I was going up to these flats called Langley Avenue Flats. Obviously, it was a well-known place for getting fucked up. Basically, you could go from door to door, knock on one, like, got any drugs, mate? Yeah, pop in. It was bad, but to me it wasn't. It was amazing. I'm like, give me some more. And like with that, it just sort of like, don't know. I masked what happened as a child via them drugs, and obviously like, you know, partying and thinking it's all okay. And you know, and I went through to, then I started getting to like 18, and I started going out like to clubs and pubs with my friends and everything, drinking, sniffing loads of cocaine, doing loads of speed, doing pills, MDMA. Not gonna lie to you, mate, everything that was psychedelics, I fucking ate them, because that was the way I was. I am such a, like, yeah, I'm either all or nothing. If it's all there, I'm gonna fucking do it all. Or if it's not, I'll be scratching at someone's door to try and fucking find the fucker, do you know what I mean? And that started, them problems started for me then. And I knew deep down something wasn't right, do you know what I mean? I shouldn't be thinking about this and these things out of my age. I think, hang on a minute, why do I keep thinking about this? But while this was happening, and I was going like partying to houses and flats and this, that and the other, a couple of my friends, like while I was working, took it upon themselves to basically order my drugs for me ready for the weekend. So I finished work on a Friday, my drugs were already sitting there for the whole weekend, mate. And then I ended up going back to my mum's on a Monday morning, standard. Oh, Mum. Do you know what I mean? She's looking at me thinking, what the fuck have you been doing? And this went on for a long time. And she said to me, you know, she's like, you're not killing yourself, No, I'm fine. No, I wasn't fine. And with that, you know, time went, you know, progressed, and, you know, things went on, you know, you're in and out of relationships and that, and to be fair, sometimes they have a knock-on effect, as you know, boys, and sometimes, you know, some people can just brush them off, some people can't, whereas me, sometimes I couldn't, you know, because I'm such a thinker. And that didn't help me as well, because I turned eye again, back to drugs, alcohol, because what it does, it's a master of masking your problems, and it really does. And I'd be a liar if I said it didn't, because it does. And that's why people always go back to it.
We spoke about this before, we're just masking over the problems, and not actually dealing with
the problem. Yeah. This is it, mate. And obviously, you know, and then obviously I was 24, and obviously like, you know, the party life, and obviously I was 24, and I was at my mum's one night with my brother Daryl. He'd come down from Liverpool because my nana wasn't very well, and basically we decided to go to a place basically for the wrong reasons, which caused him to get stabbed twice, and I had to get him out of the house. I managed to get him about 15 yards down the road, and he dropped, and he was. I was cradling to the last minute I could. You know what I mean? And his last words at camp was, "I couldn't tell Mum I love her," and that stuck with me, and that never went away, and it's still stuck with me now. But the trouble with me, like I can stop, but then when I try and do it on my own, it don't happen. So like I'll end up going back to drugs, alcohol, because I'm an addict, mate. Simple as, and I ain't afraid to admit it. But when you go through a trauma like that and you watch something like that, how else can you get rid of that problem? How can you mask it? How else can you like deal with it other than get fucked up? Because no one wants to deal with that trauma. No one wants to deal with that pain and the hurt. And
you were already off the rails, and
mate,
then witnessing that just spiraled you out of control.
Well out of control. And you know,
that's when harder drugs and stuff come into.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to get into. I ended up turning to crack and heroin because I was done with the speed, done with the pills. It weren't giving me the hit I wanted, and it wasn't, you know, the alcohol. You know, but I was still drinking. The drinking never stopped. But then I started smoking crack and I started smoking heroin, and I thought, wow, well, this is different. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, oh, this is the one for me. And I started like, you know, dabbling in it, and then dabbling in it a bit more, and then it started to become sort of my everyday life. And my mum got, you know, she was pretty much petrified of me, which is really a sad thing to say because I have a split personality as well, which don't help. And obviously being drugged up to the eyeballs and drunk and everything, I can understand her reasons for being like, you know, scared and worried, and she wouldn't know what I was going to do next, and like, you know, I could do anything and wouldn't even have done it. So with that, she politely said to me that you can't live here anymore. So I was like, fine, okay. And I'll never forget, it was a Saturday night, it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I was over at a neighbour's, and we'd had a massive argument, and I was absolutely ball bagged. I'd done loads of drugs, loads of alcohol. I was like, oh, I didn't even know what day of the week it was, mate. And with that, I ended up getting a lift to Ipswich, Station Street. I'll never forget it. 11 o'clock at night, pissing down the rain, just a bag and £2 in my pocket, homeless. Right, and obviously I'm thinking, fuck, shit, like what am I going to do now? Well, I ended up sort of getting with this girl who lived on Station Street, and that was just violent as fuck. Like, you know, like it, not like physically violent, but it was just a destructive, disgusting relationship. It was vulgar. It wasn't a relationship. It was just a mess. And I found it like a way of like I kind of used it as a foot in the door. So I had a place to live, which for the wrong reasons. I should never have done it for that. Do you know what I mean? I should never have done it at all. But when you're like, it's like you're stuck in your own self, but you've got nowhere to go. And the only thing I could do was like try and, and I did, and I ended up knocking on, living in Station Street till 2016. Bang on crack, bang on heroin. Then obviously like things happened with her, and she kicked me out. So I went and knocked on her neighbour's door, and I asked if I could live with her, and she said, "Yeah, no worries," which was really surreal. Don't know the woman from Adam. I was knocking on the door. I was like, "Excuse me, can I live with you?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Give us a minute." She went, "Why?" So I've just got to get me stuff from next door. She went, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm the geezer that live next door." She was like, "Oh, that's the geezer I keep hearing shout loud." I was like, "Yeah, sorry." And that she's like, "You're not going to do it in here, are you?" I was like, No. And she was just like, "I don't really like drugs and alcohol." And I was like, No, you'll be fine. Well, little did she know, obviously me being me, quite, I was just sliding around things and that. That's all right, do you know what I mean? Well, she caught me like having a smoke up in her bathroom and things like that. That didn't really go down too well because, with heroin it smells like fish, and crack smells like ammonia. Like I can walk in a room and I know still to this day, I'll never forget that smell. It is fucking horrible, and the drugs themselves are just fucking horrible. They're just killers, same as alcohol. Like they're all up there together. There isn't Because it makes me laugh a lot when I said to you, I didn't inject it, but it still makes it okay, does it?
Yeah.
You're still a smacker.
That's what we said on the way in the car, on the way to meetings and that. We try and justify our actions. I done Charlie, but I'd say, I've never done crack, and like with you, you say, I've done heroin, but I didn't inject it. At the end of the day, we both done drugs.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So either which way, it doesn't matter how you do it, you're still putting it in your body.
Yeah.
And and it does become an addiction, because being an opiate addiction is fucked, mate. I didn't realise how severe like the opiate addiction was to get away from. Between heroin and alcohol, honestly, juggling them both, I didn't know which one was harder to get off, because they were literally crack or breezy. That wasn't a problem, because it's not actually, it's all up in your mind. Crack's not actually physically addictive, whereas opiate, alcohol, your body feeds off alcohol, your body feeds off opiates. So them two combined, mate, you're just going to go...
That's deadly as well, isn't it? It can
be deadly, mate. Well, mate, I'll snowball in it.
Yeah, uppers and
downers at the same time.
There is a point where a lot of people OD from that and die.
Yeah, mate. I've put loads of crack with heroin and just bummed it up in a pipe, and I've sat there like, I don't even know what fucking day of the week it is, mate. Do you know what I mean? People talk to you, and by the time you're talking to you, your fucking head's on the floor because you gouged out so much from the smack. So you've sat there like quite alive, and you've just gone fucking like whoa. But what it does is when you smoke crack, it gives you a real massive like rush instantly. As soon as you blow that smoke out, you're fucking buzzing your nut off. But instant anxiety, like, and I'm talking to trembling anxiety, like to the point where you're thinking, fuck, like what have I done? So the way to mask it, smoke a bit of heroin. And it stops the whole anxiety. So you're sort of chasing one to the other, but to make one okay from the other one. So you're never going to win. You know what I mean? So if you're on heroin, you want some crack to wake up. But if you're on a crack, you want heroin to calm down. So which one do you do? What are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? It's just you fluctuate between them both, and then like it got to the point where I was like fuck it, so I just kept smoking them both. And then smoking them both at the same time, because like I said the same, like you just said, like the uppers and the downers together, potentially would kill you. And I mean, the shit I put my body through. I mean, I'm surprised me. I've tried to take my own life umpteen times, but my brother just won't let me die. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's another thing I was going to talk to you about. You said you didn't mind talking about it.
No.
Your arms are covered in scars from self-harming, and that's all down to depressing after coming off drinking and drugs.
Look, it's fucking shredded to shit.
Yeah.
It's them two there. I put through the main artery. That one there, I tried to chop my own hand off. Feel them ones, mate. Stick your fingers in there if you want to. Yeah. Stick your fingers in them. They're holes.
Yeah.
They've been opened and opened and opened and opened.
Yeah. Is that because you didn't like yourself? You said to me that one time, and we won't go into why. But you done something that upset you so much you felt guilty that you
smacked my mate with his daughter in his hand. Knocked her out cold. It's the worst thing I ever did, mate. He fell over with his daughter and that, and I was like, oh fuck. So I went and sliced my wrist 3 times. Because I felt I had no other release inside of me. I couldn't do anything, I was powerless, I'd hurt him. His daughter's screaming, I'm thinking, shit. And I think I've done this. I deserve to go hurt, and then I didn't. And the trouble is with me, I don't slice my wrist, mate. I get a knife and I chop out I'll smack it as hard as I can against my arm, so it just pops a hole wide open. So I don't have to sit there and look at myself. Literally, I'll just go whack, and it would just pop open and open and open. Do you know what I mean? It's like chopping a bit of meat in it, Sam. Do you know what I mean? You know yourself, you're a chef, you get a knife, mate. What happens to a bit of meat with a knife? Bosh, you go straight through it.
Yeah.
Well, same as muscle, it's flesh, it's going to cut.
How did you deal with the self-harming then? Like, did that, because that stopped long before the...
It did. The self-harming helped me, Sam, when I went to Coastal IDT team. I was picked up by them coming from Station Street into the hostel, and obviously my mental health really did take a turn for the worst. And obviously in a hostel, it's just, do you know what I mean? It's door-to-door, drugs, alcohol, like hostel life, you know what it is. But with that, I ended up meeting a woman called Michaela Langley. And she picked me up because she it's funny, I got arrested. This is how she picked me up. I got arrested basically, and because I was so hammered with police officers, I can be very horrible to them. I'll ask them and I'll pretty much tell them why they wear the badge. Do you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, they're everybody at school or this, that. I won't say go into it because it's going to fucking vulgar. But she picks up the email that gets sent through to the office, and it's got every word for word what I've told the police officer, literally to the final point. So she picked that up, and everyone in the fucking office was like, well, I ain't fucking taking it. And she was like, oh fuck it, I'll take it. And yeah, she picked me up, and she had me under her for 2.5 years. And my life really started to change because I wasn't self-harming, I wasn't thinking about the suicide, I wasn't doing this, you know what I mean? You know, like Coronation Park, you know, one of my suicide attempts, I mean, I wrapped the fucking rope around the tree and jumped out the bloody tree and the fucking branch snapped. What's the fucking chances of that?
Mm-hmm. You're obviously meant to be here.
Yeah, but check this out. And then, about 4 years later, in some strong winds in Coronation Park, the only tree to fall over was that tree, and it went straight for my nan's back garden. And that, to me, I'm like that. So out of all of these trees, that's the only one, literally by the wind, got blown over. And they've been there since before we were born. So we grew up with Zoe, and obviously like, and obviously like you know Coronation Park, I live off footy and that, like me. Them trees have been there donkey's years, mate. Yeah. But why? What coincidentally the one
took that as a sign, as like a higher power.
Yeah, badly, mate. Yeah. I thought, and like I said, the amount of times I've tried to do this, I mean, I was actually pronounced dead in the spare bedroom at my mum's house. The ambulance people coming in, I was great. And this is really surreal. It was a hot summer's day, and we're in my mum's back garden. It was me, her neighbour, and someone else. We're having a right laugh, you know. And obviously, she didn't realise. Because actually, let me just revert back to myself. Really, going back to Michaela Langley, obviously her and helping me and things like that. She helped me sort of balance myself out of alcohol. So my mum got to think that I was okay. But little did she know, as soon as I disappeared, I'd be like, donk, 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 and I'd just get absolutely fucking bamboozled again. But in that space of time when we're having the garden, like, you know, in the summer, and I went up into the bedroom, got all my medication out for no reason whatsoever. I wasn't pissed off, I wasn't unhappy. There was no reason whatsoever for me to just turn around and do it. I opened them all up and just sat there and just fucking ate them all. Literally, metazapine, 45 milligrams, diazepam, fucking all my antipsychotics, quetiapine, fucking pregabalin, paracetamol, you name it, I ate it. And but before I obviously snuffed it, subconsciously I must have said to myself, I don't want to die. And I phoned an ambulance, but I never remember doing it. So I sent an ambulance to my mum's, bearing in mind, knowing what I've just done. They're in the garden, like this fucking Scooby-Doo. I'm upstairs, mate, brown bread. The ambulance people have come in, and my mum's neighbour, he saw me upstairs, and then he said to me, please don't ever do that again. I said, well, I don't fucking wish to, mate. And the ambulance people managed to bring me back round again. But I can't really remember too much of it apart from fucking being dragged through my mum's kitchen, literally by my hands and feet, literally, I was gone. And yeah, it took a long time. They put me in the Woodlands, which is like a place for people for mental health and stuff like that, you know. I don't really like calling it a mental institute, but it is, because, you know, there's 3 different parts of the Woodlands. You've got the violent part, the middle part, and people that are actually like, you know, they're just dealing with like, they're in, you know, and I got put sort of, you know, with, you know, sort of kind of a mix of middle and the alright ones, you know, which it was fine with me because I sort of blended in quite well. Do you know what I mean? You're all nut jobs, so it's all good, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's one job to another nut job, so. And you know, that was a bit of an eye opener, because I felt like a caged animal, because you had to obviously like live by their in hospital rules, obviously, you know, but I never forget it. Like it was like you have a room, then you go out and you've got like a serving place, and it was like that window, but you know you're in a line, and I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, like, am I this bad? Standing in the line with my tray, like crackpot crazy, waiting for some food. I thought, this ain't me. And I thought, right, so I started to try and change my thoughts and like the way I was thinking. Well, anyway, I threatened the doctor and got booted out there. I don't know how, I don't know why, because I thought to myself, well, this is a place of like, you meant to, you know, just like save me or save people, whatever. Like no matter what situation or how you're in or whatever you're going to say, you know, I didn't realise like that they'd kick you out for it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, shit, I thought it was a safe haven. No. With that, knowing how suicidal I was, they actually phoned me a taxi and asked me, where do you want to go? And I was like, well, I don't have anywhere to go. And they were like, well, you got to go somewhere. Bearing in mind, I was like, you know, I'm in a mental institute. I'm like, what the fuck, like, well, I've got nowhere to live, I've got nowhere to go. So with that, I ended up getting a taxi to Beach Station Road, and I had what, about 18, 19 quid on me, if I can remember correctly. And obviously, Beach Station Road Premier Shop used to be 24-hour every day, and obviously I got a taxi there. First thing I did, bought the whiskey, went and sat over the beach, sliced my wrists open and that, just sat there getting tanked up, and it's really funny. As daylight started to broaden the horizon, I could hear some people in the beach shelters across from me, so I was pissed out of my face. I just wandered over, and it was full of Lithuanians and whatever, and they're all drinking neat vodka and that, and I thought, fucking happy days. I thought, I've got taxis to the right place. But yeah, with that, they were looking at my scars and everything, and I'm sitting there drinking neat whiskey and that, and like they're looking at me and you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, just felt like my arm was on fire. I've got these Polish geezers pouring neat vodka all over my wounds. They're like, this clean. I'm like, what? No, don't fucking do that. My poor arm, do you know what I mean? It was fucking burning. And then with that, like I ended up back in hospital because obviously I sliced my wrists open. Wouldn't let me back in the woodlands because they said I was too out there or too violent, however they want to put it. And I thought to myself, so if I'm too violent, why have you got separate places for all the different individuals to go in the hospital? So if I'm violent, does that mean I'm too bad to be looked after then? Does that make me different from the average human being? What, because I've got a brain deficiency and I can switch at any point? That's not fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the way I sit, we're all equal, regardless of our problems. Do you know what I mean? And that's, to me, I found it very disheartening. Like, I just felt like, wow. Is this how people get treated? Like with severe mental health issues?
They've probably got to put other people's safety into.
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Yeah, risk thing in it as well.
Well, mate, I was a ticking time bomb, and obviously everything, like with my brother and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? It just kept always creeping back, and it's something I'll never forget. I'll never get over it, and I'll never not see the picture of it. Do you know what I mean? I can remember it like it was yesterday. I always can.
You just learnt to deal with it as time's gone on.
But I thought I was okay dealing with it myself, Sam. And I was, plodding through life and that, got my own house and that, done this. I thought, yeah, I'm doing alright, But I wasn't. I was still getting pissed up, going home, do you know what I mean, doing this, buying loads of cocaine, sitting at home, fucking like a paranoid, like literally, honestly, the only job I had, mate, was fucking blind twitching. Literally, if you walk past mine, you probably see one eye just looking out the fucking window. And I just couldn't see a way out of it, and the anxiety it gives you as well was unreal. So I used to just drink fucking copious amounts of alcohol with the cocaine, so I didn't really feel like the paranoia and the anxiety of it in that as much. So I got myself more blasé, but then you find yourself drinking more because the more Charlie you do, the more fucking alcohol you can drink because it just doesn't do anything to you. But sorry,
that's all right, mate. I was just gonna say, but like we were talking earlier, both of us. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? And just you drink more, and then you're stuck in a vicious circle.
You do.
Me and you clashed with each other in the pub. We didn't get on with each other.
We had some fun times, didn't we?
Well, we're both arseholes when we drink and take drugs. But we're not got on with each other in the past. But it's funny how life can change. Now we go up in the road up to Essex and that,
and now look at this,
you've taken
Max and Paddy on the road to nowhere.
You've taken to recovery really well, and you obviously, you said before that you're all in or all out, and I reckon
with me, Sam, I've either got the bottle of whiskey or I haven't, mate.
Yeah.
It's either going to be empty or it's not.
Well, I think that's what you'll do with the recovery. You'll throw everything into it.
I do.
You're going through the book, and with that big. But I can't name what it is. People don't like it, but you were reading a bit of it earlier. And you can see a lot of yourself in it.
Well, it's written in old American Bill Story, and it goes back to 1929. He's a war veteran, fought 2 veteran wars, and he's come to England. You know what I mean? And I think it's Wiltshire or something like that. It said in the book. And where he's welcomed by the hometown, because he was a heroic, you know what I mean? So you're welcomed, and liquor was, like I said to Sam, liquor was consumed, you know what I mean? And that's...
Where does this knowledge come from? Because you were reading it to me earlier and explaining to me like how it was worded. So how do you know?
I was very clever at school. I just showed you fuck all about it.
Yeah. Well, it's coming in handy now, isn't it? You are very intelligent.
I do try, mate. It's not that with me, Sam. I really listen. Because I read a lot as well. I have over the past, before and stuff like that. Like when you read, I can I get really into it and that. Once I'm drawn into it and that, I'll sit and I'll read to you for hours. If you said to me, "Can you sit and read me a book?" I sit and read the whole fucking thing to you. It wouldn't bother me. And if you ask me about it, I'll tell you about it straight after as well. That's one thing with me. It's mad how it sits in my brain, isn't it? Like I can, like I said to Sam, when we were going through certain bits of it, we were talking like, you know, of the ups and downs. Like basically, he had everything to nothing. Then you have to start again. Do you know what I mean? And then liquor was consumed, more liquor was consumed. And his eyes, you know, he tried to tell his wife that most geniuses in this world come from basically being fucked up. And that's sort of what he went on, because he wanted to be a leader. He wanted to be this. He wanted to be like Napoleon. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, ride the seas. He wanted to be like, yeah, you know, I'm the man. But then it's in his story. He also reverts back to like he was drinking alcohol. It even says on the very first page, and it was really funny, really, because he said he was walking through a graveyard and he saw a grovel tombstone, and on that tombstone said, what was it? What was it? Something Grenada. Does it die by cold beer, or neither nor musket? Or by what I forget. If I could.
There was a warning sign on.
Yeah,
on
basically
thing,
straight off warning sign, and he knew
Yeah.
with that, and he could see, you know, and it goes through. Obviously, he went to Wall Street, funny enough, to do the stock market, because he heard, obviously, like, put money into this, and you can, you know, he's seeing all these rich people, and obviously, like I said, going back to the leader heroic thing, he wanted to be one of them people. I wanted to be one of them people. You do, like, it's just like everybody does it. It's an ego. And like, you know, the trouble is that sometimes we can carry our egos a bit too high, when little do we know we're even doing it. You know, and many times people point out, and I'm like, sorry about that, I wasn't even doing it for that reason, but, you know, sorry about that.
That book, it makes you relate, and it tells you a little bit about your own mind, how it works, because you read it and you think, that's...
Mate, I can relate to loads of things there, mate, honestly, like, you know, like, you know, I mean, I've had, like, I've worked, I've done this, I've done that, and obviously due to my problems and things like that, I mean, you know, the doctor had medically certified me, you know, you can't. Because if I was to be put, say you just whack me down the doctor or something and I have an episode, I could potentially wipe out loads of people and not even know I've done it until I've snapped out of it. And that's the most dangerous thing.
You've taken very, very well to cold water therapy.
Love it. every morning on my own, zero fucks given. I'm like, off you go. And I'm doing, I go down there, drive down there, even he laughs at me, I live right next door to it, he's like a lazy bastard. Literally, it's a stone's throw away, and I'm like,
What does the cold water do for you?
It's already stopped me taking from one water, so I don't have to take one of my medications already.
Well,
I don't.
I'm not recommending anyone does that.
No.
That's a sleep one, isn't it?
Yeah, but this was for me, basically. The cold water therapy is balanced my brain out to the point of now I can put my head in the pillow and go to sleep at night.
So you don't have to take a sleeping tablet?
No, without drugs or alcohol as well.
You're on antipsychotics and stuff like that. You would always be taking
them. I have to.
I haven't advised you to stop any medication. I'm just putting that out there.
I done it. I found, because basically what was happening was I was taking some of my antipsychotics at night time, and on top of this drug called metazapine. I was on a strong one. It was like 45 milligrams, so it wasn't a week after, you know. But then you think every day I've got to remember taking 45 milligrams of medicine out of someone's body, and you just shut it off. And I still managed to go to sleep that same night, and I thought to myself, So I go to the cold water in the morning. My head's lovely and clear. Like, I feel really good for the day after and everything like that. And then I think because I didn't realise in metazapine some of it has actually an antidepressant in it. Well, I'm not depressed, mate. I've got psychological problems. I'm not depressed. Yeah. So, and I was waking up, Sam, and I was just like a fucking zombie, mate. And
it gives you that little boost, doesn't it?
Yeah, but do you know what? Now I wake up, I'm like dying, and I'm up, mate. I'm up. So I take the dog for a walk. It's like 5:30, in the morning. I take the dog for a walk.
You looking forward to the water getting colder?
Fuck it, mate. Because someone said to me, "When are you going to stop?" I was like, "When does it end?"
Yeah.
When does it? I was like, I'll go right through the year, probably all through next year, and then probably next year after that. And, you know, the more and more I do it, the more and more.
Well, so you said as well you like having a routine. It settles you to have a routine.
Me and routine go really, really well. Me with no routine, fuck me. You just might as well just fucking pin me to the floor. You stay there for the day, mate, and you'll be alright. Because I literally am just fucking doing. I mean, even my mum, like,
you're a bit like that tonight, but I know you're nervous because of this. But you've been
not that. I speak fast anyway.
The last couple of days you've been so like settled, like, but I know you're nervous with this. I'm not. Like,
I'm alright. I'm actually alright now getting into it because that's why I start talking faster.
You're doing so well in your
Thank
recovery,
you,
mate.
I appreciate it.
And I just see you, even after today, you stopped and you took time. You were talking to people and trying to help others, and that's what it's all about.
But you got to remember, dude. Like, if like that day, like I said to you, I was at home that day. I was having a real shit time. And my phone went off, didn't it?
Yeah.
And coincidentally, it was your name.
Yeah.
And I just knew it was there to do it. And I was like, I need to talk to him. And I did, didn't I? And I sent you a message. I said, look, things ain't right and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And with that, he didn't even read the message. He's like, right, number, call me. Called him. And with that, I talked to him over the phone. Had a few tears and whatever, which is naturally natural. And he took me under his wing, and like basically, and he's taken me to a place where I never thought I'd ever go, because I've never been able to do it on my own, and he's pushed me to somewhere now where I think this is the life I want, and it ain't ever gonna fucking change, and there ain't no fucker out there gonna change it for me either, apart from myself and obviously my man Sam.
You just got to take it one day at a time.
Yeah,
mate.
but
Just
dude,
keep doing what you're doing.
I always know. Zoe, you're at the other end of the phone. Sam, you're at the other end of the phone, mate. Do you know what I mean? You know, other people we have at the other end of the phone, and that. Do you know what I mean? And knowing that you have that, it's like a bit of security, because you know damn well if you're about to fail, do call someone. Do you know what I mean? Because that's why they say, you know, that's what, you know, they will help you.
It's very important.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And in whatever situation you're in, it can be resolved between you both, and you won't. Is that me?
Not me.
It's me.
Oh, it's you. Sorry,
I'm so sorry, dude.
I was blaming Zoe. Zoe's here for a bit of moral support.
No, it's probably just what it's for someone who it's
It's alright. Me and Jack were both stare. Zoe's here for the people that don't know, for a bit of moral support for Stephen, because he was a bit nervous, and they're good friends.
It's always nice to have a couple,
and Stephen's phone was going off, and me and Jack both turned around and gave Zoe a death stare, and then it went off again, and we both turned to give her a death stare as well, and it was Stephen's phone. but we forgive you.
I'll take it. My bad. Don't want me to go down that road. You know what we're talking about this morning. Oh man.
Have you got any questions, Jack?
Christ, no, I just felt like that whole. I mean, obviously, I got a little bit nervous, but it just kind of kept falling out, and I just sat there. I was like, I don't need.
Once you get me talking, mate, there ain't no. You should put a plug in it, mate, and shut him up.
You're going through your recovery now.
Absolutely, mate. Best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing this is you.
You're
all set now.
This is me, mate. Well, only I can keep it on track. Obviously, I mean, you know, bless Sam, and it's not the case that I want to let him down. I don't want to let myself down. And the key to that is self-love, self-happiness, sober life. Helps massively, because it doesn't, because obviously alcohol picks you right up in the air like cocaine does, and it just slams you right back on the floor again. And then what you do, you go and pick another one up because you feel like shit. Yeah. And it's just a knock-on effect.
You've got to do it for yourself. You can't do it for anyone else, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But to hear my mum say that, I'm getting my son back. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're my best friend.
And I know that means a lot to you. You've mentioned that a few times.
Well, it's a thing that sits with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things we've spoken about. Do you know what I mean? I listen to things. Obviously, I sat and listened to your whole podcast and thought it was absolutely amazing. Bless you. Well done. Really well done, because that was amazing. I'm not gonna lie to anyone I've listened to.
Well, this seems to be a bit of a theme, doesn't it, Jack? I tell a lie, I listen to Carl Brown's as well. I'm halfway through Gareth's. I will get through the list as I'm going through them. Well, hopefully that can help you on your journey, because that is why we've set this up, to help people.
Yeah. Well, this is it, mate. Without a shadow of a doubt, anybody that's struggling, there is help out there for you. You just got to go and seek it, because it ain't going to come and fall on your lap. And because if it did, none of us have to do anything in life, would we? It's already there for us. Thank you, cheers for that. You're there, sweet as that.
You can't underestimate the power of talking.
Nah, mate. But like I said, like we say, driving versus Colchester, mate. I would never have got in that seat if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Be proud of yourself for helping me.
Well, you've done it yourself as well. You took the first steps.
I did, but also with your help. Like I say, because my anxiety was really bad, mate.
Yeah.
If I didn't, without you being there, you being telling me that it's going to be alright, I'd have just fucking run for the hills, mate. Run a mile away. Got me a Glenfiddich and fucking.
Well, that's what it's all about. We're all here for each other, aren't we?
Absolutely, mate. And for sobriety and that, it's a real massive key thing to have these people around you, because trust me, they really help.
It's everyone on the same journey.
Absolutely, mate. And if people look at you and think, oh, you believe in God, it's not about that. It's not like I don't give a shit. Like fucking so what if I did? What does that make my ego fucking what? I'm a God believer. It doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit what people think about me either. I don't believe in God. I believe in a spiritual higher power. So I mean, there is something out there. Going back, walking into the first meeting I went into, right? How the fuck do I sit between Daryl and Gary? God bless God bless my brother. He's not here anymore. And my brother Gary used to dote me. He used to look after me as well. And he's not here anymore. He's up in Manchester living his fullest life ever. But then it was really weird. I get put back in the room,
and you get so many different stories like that, and it's not coincidence. They call it in the rooms a higher power moment.
It is, mate. That was a full on higher power moment, mate. That without a shadow of a doubt, I was meant to sit in that seat. That evening, and that was meant to be.
And it settled you, didn't it?
It did, mate. It did, and I managed to speak the second time. I won't believe it or not. Normally, I don't talk to anyone. I'm like, no, I just don't. I just sit there and I just listen, and I listen to everybody else, and then I don't know, something just came over me. I just thought, fuck it. So I just said it, and I just said what I could at that point, what I could say, didn't I? And I did nearly get a bit emotional, but then when I start getting like that, I kind of bring myself back in a bit. I try and hold it in, which I shouldn't have to do, which I've got to learn not to do, because it's okay to cry. Do you know what I mean? I've seen many men cry, and I think
you're on your journey, and you'll figure it out as you go along.
Mate,
as well,
I cry alone.
Yeah.
No one's there apart from me and the dog. I'm like, dog, the fucking world.
I cry all the time.
Mate, do you know what?
I cry on Jack's shoulder a lot and Zoe's shoulder a lot.
I've since I've not had a drink and had cocaine or any other mind altering, smoking cannabis as well. Like I said, just smoking weed. I haven't done any of that. Because it does, I didn't realise, it's only a bit of fucking marijuana, just chills you out.
But it's mind altering, and that will lead to one thing to another. So, like you said, and I said to you on the phone, you even said it in this, you're either all in or all out. If you had a bit of marijuana, the next day, what's to say?
Fucking grab a Charlie and a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Then it'd be like, right, can I get 100 left? Just with a bottle of whiskey.
And you're like, that escalated quickly.
It did. Hang on a minute, why am I £200 lighter? Oh, fuck, because I'm blasé.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it don't always end at £200, mate. You can go on and on. And
you're heading in the right direction now.
Mate, there's only one way up, mate.
There's only one way up. You've been through a hell of a lot in your life,
mate.
Just what you spoke about here. What sort of ambitions have you got now for the future?
I just want to be a better version of me and help others that I couldn't help while I was reckless. And do you know what I mean? I want to give back something to what I was. Because I felt, I was so destructive. People used to cross the street from me, do you know what I mean? So I was always pissed and whatever. Whereas now, I want people to appreciate me and understand that I do have a story. Everybody has a past, and I'm not a bad guy, do you know what I mean? And that's just what I want people to realise. I will talk to anybody, mate. I will listen. I've got a heart of gold. If someone comes to me and said to me, look, I'll say, alright, we'll sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Anything can be resolved. But it always helps to have that other person to help you do it. Like I've tried it all. I've tried so many years alone, and it doesn't work. Because you're having a conversation with yourself, and it's just another conversation with yourself. But then you're giving yourself your own intuition, but you're not giving yourself any intuition apart from the same thing. Go and get fucked up, and that's all I can do. Is scream it out there to people. There is help out there. You just got to seek it. As damaged as you are, as damaged as you feel you are, there's always still help out there for you. No matter how bad or whatever situation you're in, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you want this and you want it that bad, like I said, it won't fall on your lap. You've got to go and chase it. You've got to, like I said, you've got to make a move to get moves. That's what I mean. Life doesn't move on its own. You have to move. And with that, I mean, I've been taught a lot of life lessons through, being here, there, and everywhere, and doing what I've done. On, obviously, on the hard drugs and stuff like that. And I look back at it and think, fuck, man. Like I say, I just revert back to it, and I think, even then, like, it was lucky I managed to get help. I mean, that was around 2016, 17 time. That I got that help, and that, because obviously not having the suicidal thoughts and that, and not wanting to hurt myself and stuff like that, that really helped me as well, because I'm not battling that as well as an addiction. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I think, I haven't got to mask it as much. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I was just drinking, but I wasn't. I was still masking the problem, even though it was unbeknown to me, because I was getting help. I thought that's fine because I'm getting help with that. I don't need help with that, but in reality you do, because you're still you're being hypocritical to yourself, because you're seeking help, thinking it's all right, but you're just going back doing the same thing that drove you to that fucking spot anyway. So you really, I know it's difficult sometimes, but if you can, it's still, just try and stop, kick yourself back into neutral. And I know it's easier said than done, mate, for anybody, and just try and reevaluate the situation you're in and how you can deal with it, because there's about 1,000 ways you can deal with one matter, but it's how you want to deal with it. And my option is go and get help.
Nice.
Seriously, go and get help.
Love that. Thank you, Steven.
My pleasure, my darling.
You're smashing it. Keep
I'm
smashing
trying,
it.
mate. I'm giving it my all. And I'm already receiving benefits from this, which I'm enjoying. I'm like, yes. Like, I wake up and I live for the scene now, Sam. It's me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Well, I'll end up fucking. So like, where is he? I don't know. I'll end up having a waterproof fucking bag in it. Where are you? I'm in my fucking thing in the fucking sea.
Just keep doing what you're doing. What you've done, you've learned that you can't have different results by doing the same things, and you've changed
You have to make
change the
change.
way you're living, and you've made them changes,
yeah.
and you're heading in the right direction. So stay on path, mate.
Oh, mate, honestly, and obviously, I mean,
stick with the winners.
Well, mate, if you don't, you've got to, because if you don't, without you realising, it's really surreal, because it could be it may be a small group of people, but they'll always do the same shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. There's no. That's where I've said it to, and I've said it on air before. There's no coincidence that when you're drinking and taking drugs, you're hanging around with people that are drinking and taking drugs.
Absolutely.
When you're in recovery, you're hanging around with people
that want to,
stick with the winners.
And they don't want to do drugs. They don't want to drink. I don't want to do drugs. I don't want to drink. Fucking congratulations! I'm with the people I've always wanted to be with. Happy fucking days. Yeah. Because everybody in that fucking room, we all want the same thing. Is fucking, a new life. Be a winner. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because we are winners, mate. We always will. Look, we'll get through this, mate. And everything in life is a test of Sam. And fuck me, is my life and push the limits like yours has, dude. As Zoe's has. We all, as we all have our own, different parts. But everything is always here to challenge you. Life's just one massive fucking challenge, mate. And like I say, I've found my challenge now, and it's with a spiritual higher power and the sea. And obviously Sam and Zoe, they're nice people. Being around nice people, it teaches you to be nice as well. And because they're reflection off you, they reflect on other people. So their intuition, what they give me, I can bring that. I can pass that on to somebody else who might have, who might have needed to hear that thing that day. Who might have needed to hear that thing that month. Do you know what I mean? It might have just took. That's all it takes. And it's really mad. It is. People take things. It's like you say. If I believe in karma, you get what you get back. Do you know what I mean? You give what you get back. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a cunt, at the end of the day, you ain't going to get very far in life. And then I found that many times, mate. Like I said, people don't want to be near you because you're just horrible. They'll cross the street because you're fucking hammered and you're just fucking. Do you know what I mean? But that weren't me, mate. Do you know what I mean? That was just some version of me that was fucking stuck in a flip reverse, bang. But it was just all it was, just a reverse cycle. And how I'm here is unreal.
You are now, and all the things that have happened to you become your story, which will be someone else's saviour.
Absolutely, mate, for sure. That's what I was trying to say. My story, or anyone, you can potentially save somebody else's life. Because what I'm trying to stress out there is like, look, I mean, the trauma. I would fucking never wish that on anybody. And you know, mate, that fucked my life up, mate. Do you know what I mean? I lost my job down the docks, everything. I'm not, you know, like, but that was my own doing. I was telling them up hammered and pissed, and you know they can't have someone on site, you know, like that, because you know you remember Scotty, don't you? Scotty Barber from Penn Tower. Do you not remember the old foreman of Scotty from Ipswich?
Don't know, mate.
Yeah, because he was on Minkside in the lashing yard. Do you not work in the lashing yard?
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember anyone like that. Mate. I'm not very good with names.
Scotty's the one who went off sick with depression and that.
I think, he was off work.
Yeah, he wasn't a very well guy anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a top bloke, and he told me a few things in life, you know, and you sort of laugh it off, but then I sit back and think, fuck me, he was right. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that have opened my brain and doors. Now I'm fresh-headed, and I ain't got drugs and alcohol in me. By fuck, I can think, and it's so nice. Do you know what I mean? My head is so clear. Like, hence why I'm being able to talk so fluently, just so like it just rolls off my tongue. Because before I'd be like because I couldn't talk, mate. Shit, literally I'd just be like clinging to this chair as tight as I can. Sounds like
you certainly can now. I'm bursting for a piss, Stephen. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But no, I just want to put it out there that, like, you know, I thank you for this as well.
No, thank you.
It's been nice to talk.
Yeah,
it's helped me a lot as well.
Yeah.
Obviously,
you're doing all the right things, and I can't express how much I am proud of you.
Well, mate, like I say, if I didn't get hold of you, mate, I wouldn't be sitting here now. Yeah. I'll put it to you like that, mate. So that's why I'm saying thank you. Well, thank you as well.
I appreciate that, and we all needed it. I had Carl Brown that I went to, and it has a roll-on effect, and someone will be ringing you soon. You'll be someone will ring you soon, and that's how it works.
Well, this is it. Well, like I say, you meet people, you get numbers, as we both know, don't you? And I'm really looking forward to hearing a lot more of other people's stories and their healing and how
it's
they're
exciting times ahead.
It is, mate, because it's one massive healing program. And that's, you know, I'm amazed for it.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks so much for coming on, mate.
No problem.
Appreciate it.